I have been teaching since 2005, and I ran into a few problems teaching English and designing my curriculum because of the demographics here at Seneca. Seneca is comprised of international students, students of non-English background. Therefore, teaching English to these students has been quite challenging. And I was kind of lost in the beginning because I really didn't know how to address to my students and to understand their needs. So that's when I immediately contacted Pearson, and I had a wonderful sales rep who encouraged me or introduced me to my Canadian Comp Lab. I was just ecstatic because understanding the demographic and some of the needs of the students. First of all, they're from the Gen Y and millennials, and anything related to computers and technology, they'll embrace and they love.
First of all, English is my second language, so my Canadian Comp Lab exercises really help me to improve my grammar. And also, for me, it's really hard to write essays, so when I submit my essay to my Canadian Comp Lab, when I get my feedback, I could fix my mistakes, and so that when I hand in my paper, I feel really trust in my paper and I get a really good mark.
It helps me a lot in different areas like grammars, punctuations, and many things. And we submit our essays online, and we get feedback with less than 24 hours.
Students understand in the first class, the students understand that there's a textbook, and along with the textbook, that they must purchase the My Canadian Comp Lab access card. So that is a must. So a lot of them say, well, do I really need to buy the text? And they're always trying to get out of it. But I do try to tell them that the My Canadian Lab access card is priority mandatory, and I explain to them why. My class is divided in two sections, whereby I have 4 hours for each class. 2 hours is lecture in the classroom, and 2 hours is in the computer lab. If some institutions might not have the luxury of having a computer classroom, the students are assigned computer grammar exercises for homework. I find that if I do assign a grade, and that's like with any assignment, if I do assign a grade, the students are already motivated to do it. Doesn't matter whether it's in the classroom or at home. The students, the first day, I have the students do a diagnostics test, and that is actually my selling feature. The students, when they come in, they're all non-believers, and they're all hesitant or reluctant, and they're non-believers. And what I find most rewarding about my Canadian Comp Lab is that I made these non-believers into believers. And the looks on their faces when they complete the diagnostics test is priceless.
When I took the diagnostic test, my mark was 46%, and I was very miserable. And Rose told me that just keep doing these exercises, they will help you. I didn't really believe for the first time. I said, how are they going to help me? Because I'm very miserable right now. But I keep on doing exercises. Now my post-diagnostic test result is 80%.
The diagnostics test, as well as the grammar exercises, the students become familiar with the terminology that they perhaps were not aware of before. So when an instructor just writes fragment or comma splice, students really don't know. And they'll look at those comments, or they'll see an assignment filled with red ink, and half the time they don't even care about the comments. They're just worried about the mark. They won't go back and correct it. But the tutor center, the instructor, I give my students an opportunity to learn from their mistakes, so that hopefully those mistakes won't be repeated in their subsequent essays. When I used to teach a writing course, it wasn't till the students started submitting assignments that I really got to know the student. It's unfortunate that by the time I found out what was really wrong or what the student needed to work on, it was almost not too late, but it meant for me that I wasn't really doing my job, and it made me feel unsuccessful, because students perhaps do a couple assignments per semester, and you don't really capture unless the students write all the time, and you get to know the student on a regular basis. So seeing the students once a week for a couple hours, and if they submit an assignment, it's really hard to determine and track what exactly their writing deficiencies are. Diagnostics, the diagnostic test in MCCL really captures or really, what's the word I'm looking for? It really identifies what the weaknesses are right at the beginning, and it gives me more time to work with the student. And the students know what to work on, and when they do their writing assignments, they already are aware of what they need to improve, and they practice what they've learned in the computer lab with their writing assignments. So it's really beneficial.
I'm an international student. I do need this to improve my grammar skills. And I also like the tutorial center, and I can send my essay to the e-instructor, and they will give me feedback quickly and give me some comments and correct my mistakes, and I will get high marks.
I have been a more competent, successful instructor because I have actually met the needs of my students. It has helped me foster a more student-centeredness environment. It helped me get to know my students. The students, it just facilitates a great working relationship with my students, and it allows me time to work with them in the lab and to give them tutorials. It's just a positive learning experience, and my students are just very appreciative